Welcome to War Diaries. In today's episode, we uncover the heartbreaking final diary of a German officer trapped in the Battle of Stalingrad. Through his letters to his wife and his loyalty to his men, we get a rare glimpse into the human cost of one of history's deadliest battles. Stalingrad, November 1942 to January 1943. November 17, 1942. Stalingrad, north of the Red October Factory. They used to call me a romantic, back when I wore clean boots and polished my belt buckle each morning. Back when parades still meant something. Now my boots are crusted with frozen blood and Volga clay, and the only marching we do is from one ruined cellar to another, under fire. I am Hauptmann Friedrich Adler, commanding officer of the 3rd Company, 1st Battalion, 305th Infantry Division. I have 62 men left under my command. I knew each one of them by name. Now I know their wounds better than their faces. The Russians are everywhere. We don't see them half the time. We just hear them. Footsteps in the rubble, whispers in the dark, the crack of a Mosin Nagant at dawn. And yet, in the still moments, I think of Anna. My wife's letters arrive infrequently, often damp, smudged with soot from the airdrops, but I read them like sacred scripture. Her last one, dated October 28th, came with a small tin of cinnamon cookies, Zimstern, our favorite from Leipzig. I didn't eat a single one. I broke them into pieces and handed them to my sergeants. My men needed something sweet to remember life by. November 22nd. The Russians have launched a massive encirclement operation. Our flanks, Romanians mostly, have broken. We are trapped. There is no road out of Stalingrad now. Only snow and smoke and death. In the cellar where we bivouac, young Unteroffizier Muller wept when I told him the news. He's just 19. He had a photograph of his mother sewn into his helmet liner. I took him aside, gave him half a bar of chocolate Anna had sent weeks ago. It was hard as rock but sweet. He smiled like a child. I wrote Anna a letter I may never send. Dearest, I do not fear death. I fear failing these boys. They are not soldiers anymore. They are my sons. I must bring them home, though I know the snow may cover us all before spring comes. December 3rd. The Luftwaffe has promised supplies. They drop crates on parachutes sometimes. Often they land outside Soviet lines. One crate yesterday had horse meat, frozen solid. We boiled it with sawdust for thickness. A man from another platoon was shot trying to retrieve a crate marked medical supplies. It had boots. I gave mine to Feldwebel Krantz. His toes had blackened with frostbite. He resisted, but I outrank him, and rank must count for something here, even if not for much. Anna sent me another letter, dated November 9th. My Friedrich, the church bells rang for the harvest yesterday. I stood alone beneath the linden tree and thought of the day we wed. The leaves have fallen now. All that remains is your echo in my heart. I read it aloud by candlelight. The men were silent. December 21st, winter solstice. Snow fell in thick, listless waves. It muffled the shelling. The city felt still like a grave. We lost Sergeant Beck to a sniper this morning. He had just stood up to stretch. The bullet hit between the eyes. I buried him myself behind a shattered fountain where children once played. I told the men he died instantly, though I don't know if that's true. I opened Anna's last parcel today. Inside, wrapped in layers of wax paper and string, was a single preserved apple from the orchard near our house. The smell almost brought me to my knees. I cut it into slivers and passed it around the men. December 24th, Christmas Eve. We held Mass in the basement of a collapsed bank, beneath a melted iron crucifix. I gave a small speech. I don't remember the words, only that I tried to be strong. I spoke of courage, of spring, of home. Then I read from Anna's letters. Her words, her handwriting. It reminded us all what we were fighting for, even if we didn't know why anymore. Krantz played a hymn on a harmonica he'd carried since Poland. Even the Russians didn't fire that night. We shared a single tin of condensed milk, spoon by spoon. January 9th, 1943, the final Russian assault has begun. Operation Koltso, they call it. Artillery never ceases. The ground trembles constantly. Men scream in the night from wounds I can't fix. The medical officer shot himself yesterday. We buried him with his dog tags clenched in his frozen fist. Paulus still sends orders, hold the line. No surrender, no retreat. But what line? I have 21 men now, most wounded, all hungry, all afraid. Mahler sleeps beside me, coughing blood. I placed Anna's letters under his blanket last night. He whispered thanks, thinking they were from his own mother. I let him believe it. January 30th, the last letter. Today, Hitler promoted Paulus to field marshal. The implication is clear. No German field marshal has ever surrendered. But Paulus did not shoot himself, and we will not leave. I sit now in the ruins of a factory office. The ceiling collapsed, snow piling on the floor. My hands are too numb to write for long, but I must try. Anna, my light, if these words reach you, know that I died with your name on my lips, not as a hero, but as a man who loved. I tried to keep my boys alive. I fed them with your cookies, your words, your love. You were their mother too, in a way. If I do not return, tell my story. Not of glory, but of ash and snow, of young men who deserved to grow old. I will wait for you beneath the linden tree. Hauptmann Friedrich Adler, Stalingrad, January 31st, 1943. Thank you for watching this episode of War Diaries. A page from the past has been read. Subscribe and make your voice heard in the comments. Your support keeps these stories alive.